Quite recently, the German Minister of Finance stated that the worst of the crisis is behind us.
Joseph, if you're going to start listening to politicians, you might as well listen to bankers. I mean, I don't know which is worse, financiers or politicians. Germany has an election in 2013. You're going to hear a lot of good news from Germany. They're going to tell you everything is wonderful in 2013 until after the election. And Mrs. Merkel and her friends are going to do everything they can to hold Germany together and Europe together. And so you're probably going to see more and more good news. Is the situation improving? Absolutely not. No. Everybody in Europe is going to have higher debt at the end of 2012, at the end of 2011, higher debt at the end of 2013 than 2012, etc. I mean, in the last month, 2 months, the Japanese have said, we're going to print unlimited amounts of money. And the Americans have said, we're going to print a lot of money too. So everybody is now in the process, those are the two largest economies, now saying we're going to print a lot of money. The Europeans are going to make sure that they keep into the game. They may not print as much as fast in the beginning, but if things start going wrong, Mrs. Merkel's going to call up and say, don't forget we have an election this year in Germany, and we got to keep things going. So you're going to see more and more money being printed in a lot of places. But is it real prosperity? No. It's artificial prosperity if we have prosperity. And it's not going to be prosperity for many of us. Let's use America since we don't want to talk about Europe. In America, many people, millions of people, saved their money, didn't go and buy 4 or 5 houses with no money down and no job. They saved their money for their retirement, for their children, for their grandchildren. They're being ruined. They're being wiped out right now. That's what we're doing in America. For the benefit of some people. Other people are thinking this is wonderful. Financial types, bankers are getting bailed out. They think things are great. There are a lot of other people who don't think things are so great right now.
You mentioned German elections. The day after the German election, what is going to happen in Europe? What is going to happen then that is not happening now?
Well, what's going to happen then is that some of the people who have been propping up the European system are going to realize that they don't have the money anymore, and you're going to start seeing some people. It's not going to be at the day after the election, by the way, because what will happen is some people will say, well, okay, once the election's over, some of these chickens are going to come home to roost, and so some people are going to start getting their money out sooner. They're going to say, well, I don't want to be the last one to go. So you're going to start seeing the problems start to materialize before the day after the election. You will see more turmoil coming back to the currency markets. You will see more turmoil coming back to the debt markets. You're going to see more unemployment. You're going to see more bankruptcies. The world does not have a lot of good times facing it. In America, we've had economic slowdowns every 4 to 6 years since the beginning of the Republic. America is the largest economy in the world. Well, 2013, 2014, the world is overdue for an American slowdown of some kind. It will start happening in 2013, 2014. Often these problems start to manifest themselves in the fall, the German elections in the fall. So probably around that time, some of these problems becoming more and more evident, preparing us for bad times in the rest of 2013 and bad times in 2014.
Is it possible that the exit of Greece is just being held up until after that election?
It is certainly possible, and I would even say probable that it's being held up. Unless the market forces overwhelm the system by the fall of 2013, Mrs. Merkel and her friends are going to do everything they can to hold this together till after the election. Because if the whole thing collapses before the election, Mrs. Merkel loses the election. And the French and the German socialists drink champagne together and have a wonderful time. But then, who knows what's going to happen then?
What's going to happen then?
Well, what's going to happen then is the euro is going to become under terrible pressure. The euro is going to collapse because everybody's going to be trying to get out of the euro, including me. Well, I don't own any euros right now, but out of Europe. And you're going to see currency turmoil, interest rates going through the roof, bonds defaulting, bankruptcy. It's not going to be a lot of fun. It might lead to an ultimate solution. There's nothing like a crisis to cause people to address issues. But often when they have the crisis, the politicians look for the easy way instead of the right way, and it may just make it worse down the road.
When Draghi said that he would do whatever it takes to save the Eurozone, what did you think?
Well, I hope he does. Mr. Draghi and Mr. Anybody, Mrs. Merkel can say, I will do everything I can to save the day. Fine. But in the end, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we all may be suffering very badly because Mr. Draghi, Mrs. Merkel, whoever, saved the day. I'm not worried about the day. I'm worried about the decade. I'm worried about the lifetime. I'm assuming the world gets through the problems of 2013, 2014, but somehow. But then, 2019, 2020, there's nothing we can do because the debt's going to be staggering. We'll just print money, currencies will become worthless. We will go back to, barter systems, war, who knows what's going to happen. By then, because there'll be no politician who can even fake a solution at that point.